You know, sometimes when we put out predictions, they take time to happen. They don't always happen overnight, right? It might take 6 months to a year, but when you see something and you feel like it's concrete, you talk about it. Well, that's what I did a few years ago. And I lost my YouTube channel over Ukraine and Russia and the fact that Ukraine had biolabs. And I spoke on that in my videos. And then I happened to put a community post out on this channel 7 months ago, maybe longer, I don't remember. And I spoke on the biolabs that were going to come to light. And I said that several deep state peoples were involved. And I spoke on the US, that would be the US. And think about number 44 for a minute. And think about the fact that I believe that the US was giving Ukraine money to fund Ukraine and their biolabs, monies to be able to work on deadly pathogens. Because in the US it's illegal, you can't do that. So certain people over in Ukraine were doing that, getting money from certain people in the deep state. And this just didn't happen like last year. This has been going on for several years. I would say that Zelensky, you have just as much blood on your hands than another world leader that comes to my mind. I'm not mentioning him. You have a lot of blood on your hands. Selling out your own people, allegedly. And now that President Trump is here in office, he doesn't support it. And there's certain deep state ex-political figures who are scouring, trying to cover their tracks. And probably needing some depends because they're probably shitting on themselves right now. So now, Europe is pretty much running this shit now. And we have 44 over there in Europe, in the UK, as we speak, who is trying to help rearm Europe, but he's not there just for that. He's also there to cover his tracks because things are going to hit the fan. And my next prediction will be Syria. There are biolabs and weapons and things going on in Syria, and if Syria is going to be attacked and it's going to come out about ISIS, all kinds of things. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. You guys are asking me about Boris Johnson. I believe he's involved in this. I believe he knows about the biolabs, and I don't know what's going to happen, but war crimes come to mind.
Russian military officials have alleged that 38 laboratories across Ukraine ran experiments on civilians, framing the claim as part of a broader narrative about Western activity near Russia's borders. Shut down by Donald Trump earlier this year, USAID is now being accused by Moscow of involvement in secret pharmaceutical testing on civilians in Ukraine. Russia claimed that USAID may have been involved in testing pharmaceutical drugs on Ukrainian citizens, raising serious ethical and legal questions in its narrative. The allegation was made by Major General Alexei Ryzhev during a briefing in Moscow, where he outlined Russia's latest accusations. Ryzhev, who heads Russia's radiation, chemical, and biological protection troops, presented these claims as part of his official remit. Russia also said that U.S. officials have previously admitted to defense-related biological work in Ukrainian laboratories tied to Western programs. In this context, Moscow cited comment from figures like John Kirby and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as acknowledgement of U.S. work in Ukrainian labs. Ryzhev pointed to an interview Cornell chemist Dave Collum gave to Tucker Carlson in August 2025, using it to bolster his allegations. In that interview, Column allegedly confirmed that drug testing on Ukrainians took place in 38 separate laboratories across the country. The general said these labs handled pharmaceutical products that were then tested on local populations, implying human experimentation. Russia framed all of this as part of a wider pattern of linked biological and chemical activity inside Ukraine that Moscow views as threatening. Officials in Moscow also claimed that USAID helped fund Event 201, a coronavirus pandemic simulation exercise held before COVID-19 emerged. Radishchev said that this drill took place in October 2019, shortly before the start of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Russian officials hinted that sponsoring such simulations fits a broader pattern of risky biomedical projects supported by U.S.-linked entities. The Kremlin tied these accusations to earlier claims about Pentagon-backed biological laboratories operating in Ukraine and other states near Russia's borders. Radishchev said his suspicions are reinforced by comments he attributes to Elon Musk about U.S. foreign aid structures. Musk has previously called USAID a criminal organization in his political broadsides and online posts. The tech mogul has alleged that USAID uses taxpayer money to fund research he describes as bioweapon-related or highly dangerous.
In an interview to American journalist Tucker Carlson in August 2025, a professor of organic chemistry at Cornell University, Dave Collum, confirmed pharmaceutical testing on the Ukrainian population in 38 laboratories. To ensure the secrecy of such research, the sponsors are not military agencies, but rather civilian agencies and non-governmental organizations. One of them is the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which was terminated by U.S. President Donald Trump's decision. In the United States, the agency funded the Event 201 exercise designed to deal with an epidemic of an unknown coronavirus. I would like to stress that the exercise was held in October 2019, right before the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. In February 2025, Elon Musk, head of the Department of Government Efficiency, called USAID a criminal organization, which again confirms the conclusions of the Russian Defense Ministry regarding the agency's involvement in illegal activities, including the coup d'etat in Ukraine and the commencement of a propaganda war against Russia. No less serious concerns are raised by Ukraine's activities in the field of radiation safety, including Kiev's attempts at nuclear blackmail.
So guys, there you have it. And I do believe there's going to be more information about Syria. I would like to maybe channel a little bit more before I make a video on Syria. And I've spoke on this like months ago, and I know it hasn't happened, but sometimes things don't always happen like poof, like magic overnight. It doesn't work that way. But we'll see what happens with Boris Johnson in regards to this. I think he did know something about the biolabs. I think a lot of people in Europe know, and in the UK, because now they're running it. And why is 44 over there again? To help Ursula, but perhaps there's more to it than that. Trying to backtrack a little bit, or train somebody else to take his place. I don't know.